They told me, son, you're special. You were born to do great things. You know what? They were right.
Thank you, Jack, for providing all the 2 lines of dialogue in this entire game, and in the first few seconds of the opening cutscene, no less. For the rest of the game, you'll play as the silent protagonist. Also, silent protagonist cliche. Also, narration. Then again, this is narration done right. Remove the sin, Mr. Sin Counter Man. Smoking in an aeroplane. Yes, I know it's the 1960s, but imagine being a non-smoker in this hotbox cabin.
Son, you're special.
Main speaker is, quote, special, cliche. The people start screaming before Jack even stands up, let alone leaves his seat. Unless everyone on this plane has extremely specific type of clairvoyance, this makes no sense. The fact that we see the iconic "Would you kindly" written on this note in the first scene is such a brilliant and subtle foreshadowing that we're resetting the sin counter to 0. That's right. This has never been done before, but for a game like Bioshock, it's being done. Not only does Jack survive this horrific plane crash, but he's miraculously the sole survivor. So Jack is blacked out for who knows how long and then wakes up already underwater and struggling to breathe. Yet he somehow doesn't die as he struggles for another 30 seconds to reach the surface. Right. Wait a tick. Is that the heart of the ocean? This is exactly what I'm doing when I'm drowning. I take my time to look around and see all the stuff floating in the water. Miraculously, none of the falling plane debris touches him. If there's enough kerosene to maintain a fire in the ocean, Jack should be suffocated and burnt to death. Even with the coordinates, what are the chances of Jack forcibly hijacking a plane and crashing it into the exact right location in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean? Maybe that package should have contained a parachute so Jack wouldn't have to risk death by crashing 200,000 pounds of steel at terminal velocity into icy waters. Wow, he can swim really fast without using his arms. No gods or kings, huh, Ryan? Looks like a pretty kingly gold bust to me. Ah yes, climb into the completely normal-looking, non-suspicious submarine that you found in a completely normal lighthouse in the middle of the ocean. They can build underwater cities and robots, but they're still rocking the black and white screens. Where's the projector?
I chose the impossible. I chose rapture.
One of the most epic game intros ever. Remove 5 sins.
City where the artist would not fear the censor, where the scientist would not be bound by petty morality.
Scientists would not be bound by petty morality, you say? Well, what's to stop the scientists from carrying out horrific experiments on people? Even children! Oh wait, that's exactly what happens. Watch someone get brutally murdered from the other side of the window cliche. Do we really need to subtitle Splicer, female, sounds of exertion? This is pure horror, done in all the right ways. Remove a sin.
I don't know how you survived that plane crash.
This guy would be great at GamingSins.
We're gonna have to get you to higher ground.
Higher ground? Atlas, we're several hundred feet underwater.
It's over, Anakin! I have the high ground!
We're gonna need to draw her out of hiding, but you're gonna have to trust me.
The "you need to trust me" cliche. Here's a foreign substance that could be poisonous. I think I'll stick this into my bloodstream. Such a powerful introduction to the imposing big daddies and the creepy little sisters. Minus 2 sins.
Look, Mr. Bubbles.
Mr. Bubbles? I won't say anything, just remove the damn sin. Shout out to the tail of the plane for falling on the opposite side of the walkway. Very convenient. Also, thank you to the water for not completely rushing in and knocking us back, even though we're surrounded by millions of gallons of water in every direction. Where are all the bodies of the people who were on the plane before it crashed?
He's gone. In 32. Wait. This is happening.
The creepy atmosphere is expertly crafted by 2K Games in this scene. A wonderful use of the shadows to demonstrate how crazy and deranged the splicers are. Remove a sin.
Plasmids changed everything. They destroyed our bodies, our minds. We couldn't handle it. Best friends butchering one another. Baby strangled in cribs. The whole city went to hell.
Now this is exposition done right.
You think that's a child down there? Don't be fooled. She's a little sister now. Somebody went and turned a sweet baby girl into a monster.
So she's still a child then?
Whatever you thought about right and wrong on the surface, well, that don't count for much down in Rapture.
The whatever you thought you knew is wrong cliché. Child abuse. One of the best scenes in gaming history. Remove a sin! Well, there's a Big Daddy coming towards me and bullets don't seem to work. Guess I'll just stand here instead of running. Oh, thanks so much for telling me to get out of there. Those crazy splicers smashing the wall and the flickering lights made me feel so safe, so I totally would have stayed in that room the whole night if it weren't for you. I don't know, Atlas. Jack can swing a wrench with enough power to shatter concrete. Give him a few moments and he'll be able to get right through.
Explosives are hard to come by down here.
Explosives are hard to come by down here. Atlas, have you even looked around Rapture lately? You can find a small army's worth of explosives just by looting garbage cans. Why do the splicers wait until after Jack has grabbed the shotgun to ambush him? Maybe attack him before he has a deadly weapon?
An intruder! He's ugly!
This guy shouldn't talk about somebody else being ugly.
Nobody walks into my swampy carrying the heat. Put your weapons in the pneumo, and then I'll let you in.
Gee, I wonder if he's setting a trap for us. Also, the video games take away your weapons to make it harder cliché.
More than likely, the entrance will be hidden.
You're telling me the submarine bay was only used by the shady types and was hidden? Well, who built it?
You've had your fun, but enough is enough. If you press that button, you'll learn what it means to truly be my enemy.
Ryan, by this point, I think we've made it undoubtedly clear that we're your enemy.
Oh God, you sick fuck, let me out of there! Very poor choice of words.
I can see your breath.
You can? 'Cause I sure can't. Beating the crap out of splicers with the wrench whilst listening to Tchaikovsky's Waltz of the Flowers, that's a win, my friends. 2K Games, how the heck was anyone ever going to hear what Atlas was saying in that scene without subtitles?
Even in the Book of Lies, sometimes you find truth. There is indeed a season for all things. And now that I see flesh to flesh and blood to blood, I know I cannot raise my hand against you. But know this, you are my greatest disappointment. Does your master hear me? Atlas, you can kill me, but you will never have my city. My strength is not in steel and fire. That is what the parasites will never understand. A season for all things. A time to live and a time to die. A time to build and a time to destroy!
What a speech. Armin Shimmerman absolutely owned the role of Andrew Ryan, and that speech really shows why he was able to construct a technological marvel like Rapture. The power of his words and voice is enough to move any person. Remove 5 sins.
The assassin has overcome my final defense.
Would you kindly kill yourself? There, game over, roll credits. You're welcome, Andrew Ryan.
Would you kindly? Powerful phrase. Familiar phrase.
Would you kindly? Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly find it? Would you kindly find it? Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly head to Ryan's office and kill the son of a bitch?
Sit, would you kindly? Stand, would you kindly? Run! Stop! Turn. A man chooses. A slave obeys.
A scene for the ages. It can't be overstated how incredible this scene is, how we've built up to it the entire game, and how surprising it is the first time we see it. Would you kindly reset that sin counter?
It's time to end this little masquerade. There ain't no Atlas kid. Never was.
Why are you telling all of this to Jack? What do you gain from telling him your evil plan? For that matter, why does Fontaine immediately try to kill Jack after he disposes of Ryan? Jack is completely subservient to Fontaine and is essentially a one-man army. Seems as if he'd be a pretty valuable resource. Also, the bad guy reveals his master plan cliché.
Code yellow. I just told your brain to tell your heart to stop beating. Not right off the bat, mind you.
The weakening the enemy instead of killing him right away cliché. If their brainwashing capabilities were powerful enough to make his heart stop beating, they certainly could program him to simply end his life.
He must have his lot 192 in his labs near Apollo Square. I once stole a dose and brought it back to my flat on the second floor, but those apes would have taken it back to Fontaine's penthouse upstairs.
Looks like 2K Games' subtitle transcribing team is as good as GamingSins' subtitle transcribing team.
Sequence to allow for...
Get away, you filthy little shit!
What? What are you doing? Get back! Get back!
Hearing Su Chong's death is almost more brutal than watching it in Bioshock Infinite. Excellent voice acting and sound design. Remove a sin.
Shite! You let him get away! I need a moment for thinking. Of course. This will be no problem. Find a Big Daddy and search his body.
Oh wow, how convenient. There's a dead Big Daddy right there. Or, couldn't I just ask one of the girls I previously freed to open the door? They seem to trust me. Escort mission. Don't share your needles, kids. Terrible final boss fight is terrible. Bioshock is a discount System Shock 2.
A man chooses, a slave obeys.
Let me out of this. Okay, now listen. I've got a great Joker impression. You ready? Aha, a he, a ho, aha. And I thought my jokes were bad. It's pretty good, isn't it? And I thought, no, still British. Go American. Think tanks, guns, Al-Qaeda. Hello and welcome to GamingSins. We're here today to do Bioshock, a game that I think personally is perfect. So, you found sins, whoopty flipping ding. I'm sure they're not real sins, they're probably just like, this gameplay was laggy or some bullshit like that.